Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the live session of Ecoholics. So, we will be starting in few more seconds. Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the live session of Ecoholics on the topic of how to attempt the UGC NET paper Economics with 100% accuracy. So, let's begin the session. All right. So, what are we going to do in today's session? I would like to just brief you out on the session so that you feels interested and you know what we are going to do today. So, in today's session, we are going to talk about the mistakes which everyone do while attempting their UGC NET paper and which ultimately leads to a fall in their marks, which which do not allow them to clear that exam. So I will be talking about all those common mistakes and will also be coming up with the strategies, with the measures which you can take so that you at least don't make that mistakes, and whatever you are going to, whatever number of questions actually you are going to attempt in your paper, at least those questions become correct. All right. So of course, there is no substitute for a practice for hard work. So, this session is not going to tell you the shortcut methods or the tricks. It's just going to help you with that streamlined strategy which you should follow and not instead waste your time in following the another available shortcuts or tricks. All right. So, let's see. Now, whenever we are attempting any paper, there is always a trade off which comes between the speed and accuracy. So, time is always a constraint when you are attempting any kind of paper. Either it's your school exams, either they were your college exams, or now even the competitive exams. So the time constraint we have is really strict. We cannot even take extra 1 minute. And in that time constraint, we need to do our paper accurately. All right. So I'm just looking at your messages, everyone. Okay, good evening, everyone. So if you have just joined right now, I am talking about how to attempt the paper with accuracy and within time also, and what steps can you take so that you get the 100% out of what you have attempted. And in this session, I'm not going to discuss the shortcuts or tricks. That's the path you should follow. All right. Okay. So I was talking about that there is always a trade off between speed and accuracy. So on one side, the clock is running, like you can see right now on your screens. The clock is running. And on another hand, you have to ensure that whatever option you are marking, whatever option you're going with, that should be correct. That it should not happen that with the speed, just because you have a time constraint, what you're doing is you're marking the incorrect question. So when we used to be in our schools, जब स्कूल में होते हैं तो what happens is कि we give a lot of Olympiads, right? At that time, many students are serious while giving their Olympiads, but many are not. They are just giving that Olympiads because they want to, and for them it's fun. Maybe they want to think कि ठीक है तुक्का मार लेते हैं, let's see if we get through it. At that time what we do is जो मन में आया, question नहीं आता, जो मन में आया A B C D, we mark those options and we let it go, because that particular thing is not affecting our life, so it doesn't matters too much if you're not pretty much serious about it. But while sitting for the competitive exam, what option are you marking is really really important. You cannot go into the exam just because of completing the paper you mark incorrect answers. No, you cannot do that, right? So there is always going to be a trade off between speed and accuracy. On one side the clock will be running, you will be having maybe last 30 minutes, last 40 minutes to complete your paper. On another hand, you might be having a major chunk of questions to attempt, and you want to ensure कि ठीक है whatever I just choose, whatever I do attempt, it becomes correct also. So what you have to choose? Ultimately, what you have to choose? Will you be choosing the speed or accuracy? What shall you choose? So accuracy is the one thing with which you should go. I'm not asking you to neglect the speed. I'm not asking you कि time की तरफ ध्यान मत दो. No, you definitely have to give your attention to the time which is running, but not at the cost of accuracy. So what I want to give you is that do not choose speed. Do not choose speed at the cost of accuracy. That's something which you should never do. So this is the first thing, this is the first common mistake which every student make, that they choose speed, they choose time, they choose ki, okay, I will attempt 100% paper, maybe 60% will get okay, they will get correct, and they don't choose the accuracy. So what you have to do, you have to choose accuracy and keep speed in your mind. Okay. Okay, so we have a query in between. So Naresh is asking, I want to purchase UGC NET test series. Please tell me how to purchase. So all right, you can call at this number 7880107880. You can call at this number and the Ecoholics team is going to assist you. You can go to our website as well, which is www.ecoholics.in, and of course you can purchase the test series from there as well. So both options are available. Okay. After that, Rishabh has a query. Do we have a break between paper 1 and paper 2? No, no Rishabh, there is no break. So I will help you on that part also, that how will you train your mind actually to attempt both the paper 1 and paper 2 in one go. Alright, so let's see. Now to even make my point clear, I have already told you that you have to choose accuracy upon speed, and do not choose speed at the cost of accuracy. Now I give you one example. For example, if you go with speed, you think okay, I will attempt my 100% paper, because first thing is there is no negative marking. So people try to attempt the whole paper. What they will do is they will try to attempt 100% of the paper, because you have 3 hours and they are enough to attempt 100% of the paper. In this 100%, now 60% of the questions might get correct, and 40% are definitely going to go incorrect, because when you are speedily attempting a paper, many times you're not even reading the question properly. All right, so out of 100% paper which you have attempted, 60% of the paper went wrong. And you know what the problem is? Many students even know out of this 40%, okay, I'm not saying ki you know everything in the paper, but out of this 40%, you at least knew the 20%, but just because you were in a hurry, you made a mistake and you went for a wrong option. And 20% was the paper which you never knew, which was entirely unknown to you, right? So at least if you have paid attention to it and not have been running after the speed, you could have attended 80% of the paper, and that 80 to 80% would have been correct. Like instead of attempting 100%, even if you attempt 80%, 60% is getting right here also. 20% you knew, but because of hurry, you opted the wrong answers. So 60 and 20% makes up 80%. So in the case of this, if you will choose accuracy over the speed, 80% will get correct. And here with the speed, even if you were knowing some questions, you already knew them, since till even then they were going wrong. तो ये प्रॉब्लम सबसे ज्यादा होती है, राइट? ओके, सो धीरज इज आस्किंग how many questions can one correct out of 100? So I hope धीरज you are asking कि एक इंसान कितने questions correct कर सकता है. So of course देखो, there is no shortcut to clearing the exam. Hard work and practice, knowing your stuff is really important. So if you have studied well, if you have practiced past years, if you have practiced mock test, in that case you can go for 100 also. Like you might get 90 answers, 90% of the question correct, because you already knew your stuff. You have practiced a lot of past years, you have practiced a lot of mock test. So it totally depends upon your preparation. Okay, Rahul is asking how many questions we can expect from econometrics or mathematical economics. See, Rahul, econometrics, see, UGC NET does not have a strict pattern ki, okay, this number of questions will come from a particular section. So they don't have any strict rules for that. But normally, you don't find too much questions from the section of econometrics or mathematical economics. The total number from both the sections is somewhere between 10 to 15. Like when I say 10, 10 is also an upper cap. But 10 questions is something which you can expect from both the modules. 10 to 15 is the range. And that too, the topics, the econometrics and mathematical economics, the questions are not very difficult. If you understand the concept from those subjects, the questions are pretty much easier. Okay, good evening, all those who are joining live. Okay, so this is the example of speed versus accuracy. Now, what are you going to get now? So the 5 mantras you have to follow to get that particular accuracy. Let's just get into that. The first mantra, what is that? Prioritize your attempt. What is prioritizing your attempt actually means? So as you know that in UGC NET, we have both. We have paper 1 and as well as paper 2. Now what does many people do is, what mistake they do is, they try to attempt only paper 2. They don't give enough attention to paper 1. Because according to them, they think कि paper 2 is our core domain paper. Paper 2 clear हो गया तो UGC NET निकल जाएगा. But paper 1 is equally important for cracking the UGC NET paper. Paper 1 उतना ही important है जितना कि paper 2. So when you are attempting your paper, it depends upon your practice कि which domain is more stronger from your side, paper 1 वाला domain या paper 2 वाला domain. But I will definitely recommend you कि दोनों domains should be stronger. Both the domains should be stronger. Like your paper 1 should also be good enough and paper 2 should also be good enough. But while sitting at the paper, you have to prioritize. So paper 1 में 50 questions only come and paper 2 में 100 questions come. Right? So that's what happens. Now every question is of 2 marks. So that's how the paper becomes of 300 marks. Now 50 questions are of different types from different modules, whereas 100 questions are coming from economics only. So this happens many times. I've seen this with many students that they become bored when they're attempting paper 2 because it's the end of the paper. They are giving the paper from last 2 hours. Now it's the last third hour left. And they're getting bored because it is getting monotonous. बार-बार economics पढ़ना, बार-बार उसी के questions you are attempting. तो थोड़ा boring हो जाता है. It gets little bored for them. फिर what happens? Last में ऐसा होता है कि अब तो जितना हो गया था, होना था हो गया. सो जो आ रहा है कर देते हैं, मेहनत भी छोड़ देते हैं करनी, मेहनत करना भी छोड़ देते हैं लास्ट के 30 मिनट्स 40 मिनट्स में आके, क्योंकि इतना बोर हो जाते हैं. सो इफ दैट थिंग ऑल्सो हैपन्स विद यू, अब पता कैसे चलेगा, हाउ विल यू गेट टू नो कि दिस थिंग इज हैपनिंग विद यू और नॉट? Practice mock test. Mock test practice karo, the full 3 hour test, and then see, is this thing happening with you? If yes, then what you should do is first attempt paper 2 and then attempt paper 1. Because paper 1 is reasoning based, analytical based, logical. So it still makes you feel excited. Ki, oh, I have numbers to play with, I have statements to play with. So in that case, the first thing you should do is attempt your paper 2 and then come to paper 1. There is no restriction in the paper that you will have to first attempt paper 2, paper 1 only. Then only after the completion you can go to paper 2. No. You can definitely attempt paper 2 first and then come to paper 1. Now, in the 3 hours, 1 hour should be kept for paper 1 and 2 hours should be kept for paper 2. So allocating your time efficiently is very important. So 1 hour you should keep for paper 1 and 2 hours for paper 2. This thing should also be followed when you are practicing, when you are learning it. So paper 1, that's how. So you should not do, if you are studying 2 hours a day, the whole 2 hours you are only studying economics, paper 2. And you just pick up your paper 1 books at the end of the exam when the exam is approaching. No, that you should not do. The way you're studying, whatever is the time slot you're keeping for yourself, at least do this thing, right? So whatever time you are allocating to study economics, to study paper 2, at least half of its time should be devoted to study paper 1, because both the sections are important. All right. Okay, so Rishabh is also asking that how many marks are good for JRF? See, every year there is a different cutoff for JRF, but it depends upon the number of people who are attempting. Like the people who are attempting, the number of people who are attempting the paper, what marks are those people getting? So the cutoff definitely keeps on fluctuating, but somewhere around, if you're getting 200 or 200 plus, it's a really good thing to get into JRF. Like 200 plus should be your target for, if whatever category you're coming from, whatever maybe what under what section you're applying, 200 plus is a target. Like 200 is the safe side to be, and 200 plus is a really good side. So at least approach for 210, 215 and 200, like that. 200 plus, that's something you should definitely go with. All right. Okay, Nitish is asking JRF की एज लिमिट कितनी है जनरल कैटेगरी में? All right. So Nitish, for all the updates regarding to your age limit things, like for every category, you can visit the website of UGC NET and you will get the updated report, updated notification for that. Okay. So you should definitely visit their website because it will give you the formal and the proper thing. It will help you to know the proper thing. Okay. What is the optimal number of hours that one should study for per day for JRF? See, it also depends on what your basics are. If you have really good basics, कि अच्छे से ग्रेजुएशन में, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन में अच्छे से you have studied, तो quite a good number of concepts will be clear to you. So you won't require much time to cover the syllabus. But if your basics are not done properly, in that case, what you will have to do is you will have to sit and you will have to do from scratch. So if you fall in the first category, your basics are clear, in that case, giving 3 to 4 hours are good. Like 3 to 4 hours are good because there are a lot of subjects, so you need to give that time. But if you are falling under second category, that your basics are not clear, in that case, at least try to give minimum 4 hours. You should definitely try to give, and take it to 5 hours or 6 hours also, because the first 2 hours you will give to understanding basics, and the next 4 hours, like next 3 or 4 hours, you will give to doing the syllabus of UGC NET, practicing its paper. So in other words, जो बाकी सब टाइम दे रहे हैं जिनको आता है बेसिक, उतना टाइम तो देना ही देना है, उसके अलावा एक्स्ट्रा में यू हैव टू गिव 2 hours. Rahul is asking, ma'am, these techniques are also applicable for RBI DPER exam. So Rahul, देखो, the general things which we are discussing over here, like the general mistakes which every student make, of course they are applicable for RBI DPER exam also. But there are other key points also in RBI DPR which you have to work on, which you have to consider. So these things are common, but this conversation today is towards the UGC NET, on the pattern of that, on the marks distribution. Like in RBI, you have negative marking. Here, you don't have it. So those differences do come, but the general mindset is similar. Okay. Madhumati is asking, can you suggest some books for economics? All right, so economics books, of course, the books are going to be different for different subjects. So, do you want me to suggest a book for a specific subject? Can you please clarify that? Because there are a lot of subjects. I will just take then 15 minutes to discuss books for each and every subject. So, if you want to know a book for a specific subject, so please let me know, Madhumati, and then I will let you know about that. So I can. विशाल इज आस्किंग, स्टैटिस्टिक्स है क्या यूजीसी नेट एग्जाम्स में? तो यस विशाल, स्टैटिस्टिक्स है. क्वेश्चंस आते हैं स्टैटिस्टिक्स से, प्रोबेबिलिटी से, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन से. तो डेफिनेटली स्टैटिस्टिक्स एक इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट है यूजीसी नेट का. नाउ लेट्स सी द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, द नेक्स्ट मंत्रा विद विच यू हैव टू गो अहेड. रीड स्टेटमेंट्स केयरफुली. What happens is, as I was telling you when I was talking about the trade-off between speed and accuracy, people rush for completing the paper and they misunderstand the statements many times. And because of that, their questions go wrong. So what you have to do is, you have to read statements carefully. You cannot afford making mistakes just because you read something incorrectly. No, you cannot do that. So read the statements carefully. Give time to the statement. See what the statement is telling you. Try to interpret what the examiner is going to ask you. Okay? Try to understand his or her perspective. So let's see what you have to do. Going through the statement of each and every question properly is very important. Very important. What happens is, when you see a question, you see, oh, such a long statement, कितनी बड़ी statement है. So let's just skip it. पढ़ने की कोशिश भी नहीं करते हैं. And the next 5 questions, they are based on that single statement. और एक statement के आलस में, सिर्फ एक statement को पढ़ने के आलस में 5 question बर्बाद हो गए, which is very harmful, which is a very harmful act when you are sitting in an exam. तो ऐसा नहीं करना. Don't do this. एक बार पढ़ो स्टेटमेंट को, गिव इट अ रीड, गिव इट अ थॉरो रीड. समझ ना आए तो छोड़ दो, स्किप कर दो, लेकिन एटलीस्ट गिव इट अ रीड. डू नॉट मेक द डिसीजन ऑफ attempting that question or just letting it go by having a first look at the statement. ऐसा नहीं करना कि एक बार देखा, बड़ा लगा स्टेटमेंट या बहुत मैथमेटिकल लगा, उसको स्किप कर दिया और क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट ही नहीं किया. What if you knew that question? Only the statement was looking scary. Then what? You have left 1 mark or 2 marks. So do not make perception in your mind without reading the statement. And for such things, practicing mock test becomes very important to ensure this happens during exam. Exam mein, we have a pressure on our minds. There are a lot of things running in the back of our mind. Clear ho jaye, नहीं होगा तो क्या करेंगे, अरे फिर से देना पड़ेगा 6 महीने के बाद, अभी तो यूजीसी नेट ले भी बहुत लेट लेट रहा है एग्जाम, तो क्या होगा, फिर से पढ़ना पड़ेगा दोबारा से, क्या करेंगे. सो देर आर अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स विच आर गोइंग थ्रू योर माइंड इवन वेन यू आर अटेम्प्टिंग दैट पेपर. तो यू डोंट हैव टू डू दैट. ठीक है, तो इस वजह से हम स्टेटमेंट्स को स्किप कर देते हैं. वी टेंड टू स्किप स्टेटमेंट्स बिकॉज ऑफ ऑल दीज थॉट्स इन आवर माइंड. So don't do that. And what will save you from happening this in the exam? If you practice mock test, like when the exam is approaching, 1 महीना पहले या 2 महीना पहले, if you are actually practicing mock test ना, तो it will help you. Because when you practice mock test, तो you develop a habit of reading. And जब exam में लंबी statements आती है ना, the long statements, you don't feel stressed. उस time पे डर नहीं लगता. You don't feel stressed. So in that case, practicing mock test become very important. So all the students who are with us at Ecoholics, we always tell them कि past years और mock test तो practice करना बहुत ही ज़रूरी है. You cannot even try or think to skip that. So let's see the next. Now, the third thing is, before coming to the third, let me just take the queries we have got. Dheeraj is asking, can JRF help in interview of economic service? So, how can JRF help you in the interview of economic service? Like, are you asking ki if you have cleared JRF, so it will be a privilege that while you're going to the interview of economic services? Then yes, it might be if the interviewer likes that. But if you are asking in this sense कि preparation of JRF will help you in economic services, then no. The syllabus for economic services is very vast and very in depth in comparability to UGC NET. So in that case, no. Rishabh, same happened today. I knew all the answers but got two wrong just because I did not read them well in today's Ecoholics test. So yes, Rishabh. See, we have just one person only here in the live session who is telling us the same thing कि जल्दबाजी में पढ़ लिया और इसलिए गलती हो गई. So that's what you have to leave aside. ये सब नहीं करना. We don't have to do this. हमें अच्छे से टाइम देना है. हम 3 घंटे आए हैं. We have came here to attempt the paper. तो भाग जल्दी किस बात की है? We really need to sit. We really need to study. We really need to read the statement and think about it. Okay, so someone is asking, can we know about the faculty at Ecoholics? So at Ecoholics, we have several faculties. I am one of their faculty, and there are another faculties also. So there are different faculties for different subjects. All right. Now the third option, the third thing which you have to follow, and the third common mistake which everyone do is that not reading options properly. They are not reading the options properly. So what you have to do is, what is your third mantra is, read the options properly. Options को अच्छे से read करना है. क्यों? In all these competitive exams, many times options are very similar looking. बहुत बहुत similar होते हैं वो. एक दो word का फर्क होगा या maybe अच्छा, what happens is, when we think about something, let's say for example, I take a very common problem in econometrics. तो econometrics में when we talk about heteroscedasticity या autocorrelation, so there are numerous number of detection tests जो उन problems को detect करने में help करते हैं. तो for example, I take one name, White's general heteroscedasticity. अभी तो I'm talking about heteroscedasticity test. So I say White's general test. So एकदम से when it comes to your mind, you feel confused कि अरे ये hetero में पढ़ा था या auto correlation में पढ़ा था. That happens ना. और अब वही question paper में आ जाए. The same question comes in the paper and they give you the both option. The question asks you कि where do we use White's general test? And the option gives you hetero and auto also. Both of them it is giving you. And then one option it gives you causality. The fourth one it gives you multicollinearity. A wahi confusion was going in the back of my mind and the same thing is happening in front of me. Right? So what if this confusion was not in my mind, and according to me, autocorrelation was the answer. According to me, White's general test is something I study in autocorrelation. So I did not had the confusion. I was pretty much sure it is autocorrelation. Now when the question came, I did not even had a look at the options, and I went with autocorrelation because according to me, that was 100% correct. But if I would have given a thorough look to the options, तो एक बार heteroscedasticity पढ़ के मुझे डाउट जरूर होता कि is this coming in hetero or auto? So sometimes reading options will save you from making mistakes. So options are very important. This is one instance. The second is, many times options are confusing. ऊपर ऊपर से जल्दबाजी में when we are in hurry, तो ऊपर ऊपर से देख के लगता है यही option ठीक है. But no, it might contain one word which is wrong, and you should not have gone with that, right? So with which you should not have gone with that. So that's another problem. So इस वजह से reading the options also become very important. Correct? So you can see, thinking of a correct answer before checking options is suggested many times. Many times you must have heard this thing कि as soon as you see a question, think about its answer, right? Think about its answer, because it will save you from getting confused when you see multiple options. बहुत बार होता है. It is important also to have your own, you can say, stake, or basically to have your own stand. It is really important. But thinking and going with the same is different. सोच लो दिमाग में, have it in your mind, but बिना options देखे उसके साथ मत जाओ. Don't blindly choose that option. बाकी ऑप्शंस को इग्नोर भी मत करो. माइंड में सोच लो उस आंसर को, लेकिन बाकी ऑप्शंस पे एक बार नजर भी तो दो. लाइक एटलीस्ट हैव अ लुक एट द ऑप्शंस, राइट? So overlooking the given options is one of the biggest mistake you can ever make. And these mistakes are something which a student cannot afford again and again. So again, practicing will again help you. Okay. So, okay. Someone is asking, V is asking, difference between UGC NET and GATE exam preparation. So in terms of preparation of UGC NET and GATE, there is a lot of difference. The UGC NET paper is very straightforward. It keeps itself, the UGC NET questions keep themselves to only, you can say, the concepts, the direct facts which you learn, or maybe based on that, कि थोड़ा कॉन्सेप्ट किया और उससे हल्का सा आगे उसकी इम्प्लीकेशन के ऊपर क्वेश्चन आ गया. देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन बेस्ड ऑन इट्स इम्प्लीकेशन. But in GATE, first thing is you have mathematical questions also which will come from micro, macro, stats will come, a lot of stats come, econometrics come, mathematical economics se questions will come, where you actually have to solve numericals. Like in GATE mein you don't get very difficult numericals and it is quite less mathematical. So GATE ke liye you have to do a preparation where you have to know everything in depth. लेकिन UGC NET के लिए you need to know a lot of things. लेकिन हर चीज को एक theoretical way से you need to learn. In GATE you need to learn theoretical as well as the mathematical way of it. That's the difference over here. Ready for the fourth mantra? Ready to see the fourth mantra? Very important point it is. Okay? What's the fourth mantra? Handle the tough questions like a pro. Very common word. Being a pro is a cool term in today's world. So how to handle? The moment comes to still when we see a tough question and we are already striving to get good marks in the paper. Like already दिमाग में tension चल रही थी कि questions नहीं आ रहे हैं, शायद UGC NET clear नहीं होगा while giving the paper, और ऊपर से tough questions आ गए. So what to do in those situations? How to handle those tough questions? The questions are not tough. It's just that your preparation was little less. That is why the questions are seeming tough. Maybe you left a subject or you left a topic. But I I'm here to help you with that also. So what to do? First thing you have to do is, as soon as you see a tough question, don't worry. Relax, lay back a little. This is mind training. टफ क्वेश्चन कैसे पता चला इट इज अ टफ? बिकॉज योर माइंड टोल्ड दैट कि ये टफ क्वेश्चन है. योर माइंड टोल्ड दैट कि तुझे ये क्वेश्चन नहीं आता, सो इट इज टफ फॉर यू. But if you also trick your mind by laying back, of course you don't have to late nahi jana exam mein, of course not, but if you lay back a little ki okay, I will handle this, that tough question will become easier by 50%. एटलीस्ट उसको पढ़ने की हिम्मत मिल जाएगी एक बारी के लिए. और हो सकता है पढ़ने के बाद याद भी आ जाए कि कुछ ऐसा किया था. मे बी इफ यू जस्ट गेट वंस यू गेट दैट थिंग कि नहीं आई विल हैंडल इट, तो यू माइट गेट टू द आंसर. सो इफ यू कम अक्रॉस अ टफ क्वेश्चन, डू नॉट वरी, रिलैक्स, take a deep breath and try to find an answer. If you don't find an answer, it's okay. You're not here to be the person who has to know all the 150 questions. No, you are a human, you're not a machine. So relax, don't think much about it, let it be. पढ़ा अच्छे से, try to read its statement properly, try to read its options properly. उसके बाद भी नहीं हुआ, नहीं बना आंसर, तो let it be ना, let it go to another question. You will be able to find its answer. उस 2 marks की जगह उधर 2 marks gain कर लो. And the another important thing is avoid thinking too much about a question. Very common thing which people do is, एक question नहीं आया, क्यों नहीं आया? Because I was feeling कि पढ़ा तो था, I have studied about it. And then even if I go to the next, I will keep thinking कब पढ़ा था, कहाँ पढ़ा था. Like I am attempting another set of questions and I'm still thinking about the question which appeared 5 minutes ago, which you should not do. Because if you keep on doing this, जो question you are attempting right now, वो भी गलत हो जाएगा. Right? So avoid thinking too much about a question. Don't do that. You should not be making such mistakes. Okay? Okay, we have next question by Rishabh. How much time to give? You see that I can't find the answer. So Rishabh, finding, if you get this hint कि मुझे नहीं आता, you don't know the answer, there are 2 things. Either you have never studied that, maybe you totally skip that topic. Suppose करो in microeconomics Hicksian demand functions को totally you skipped it. तो अब वो तो skip ही कर दिया, जब आता ही नहीं है तो नहीं आता, फिर उसको एक बार पढ़ो, कुछ याद में आए तो ठीक है, नहीं तो चलो next पे चलो. But the another thing is when you don't know the answer is कि पढ़ा था but it is not coming to your mind. So again, you cannot give too much time to that. Just read the statement properly, अच्छे से read options carefully, then close your eyes for a minute or few seconds and think कि what have I studied. And if it's an application, many times in economics is totally implication based subject, रट्टेबाजी वाला काम ही नहीं है. तो what you do is try to connect the dots. अगर वो टॉपिक पढ़ा हुआ है, if you have studied that, तो एक बार डॉट्स कनेक्ट करके देखो तो सही कहाँ पे आ रहे हो. एंड आफ्टर दैट टेस्ट योर लक. जो लगा 90% आंसर यही लग रहा है तो गो विद इट ना. नो नेगेटिव मार्किंग, सो नो हार्म, बट गिव 2 minutes to 3 minutes is something you should give if the question is not coming to you. So any which way you have 3 hours which goes to 180 minutes, and in 180 minutes you have to attempt 150 questions. So ideally you have 1.2 minute for every question, but of course if there is a tough question you can try to give 2 to 3 minutes, because sometimes what happens is some questions might get their answer in few seconds, तो वहाँ का time उधर adjust कर दिया. So that's time management. Alright, now that was the 4th mantra which you have to go with. If you see a tough question, tell your mind you can do it. If you can't do it, tell your mind it's okay not to do it. Right? So mind trick it is. And don't think too much about it. If you're skipping to the next question, skip means what? जब you're giving the exam, window पे नीचे लिखा था ना skip to next question. या go to next question, what does that mean? It means the same thing कि पिछले को छोड़ दो और next पे चले जाओ. So go to next. छोड़ दो ना पिछले को, क्यों उसी के ऊपर अटकना है, right? Okay, Rishabh. After we ticked an option, can we undo it in the exam? Yes, you can definitely do that. You can come back to the question also. You can come back to the questions also. Even if you're writing paper 2, you can come back to the questions of paper 1, can change your options and then submit the new answer. So it's not it's not a problem. It's very liberal in this case. Right? Let's go to our last fifth mantra. Let's see what it gets for us. Avoid getting panic. So this mantra is of course uniform to all the exam which you might appear in your life. Don't get panic at the time of attempting the paper. जितना पैनिक होना है प्रिपरेशन के टाइम पे हो जाओ, तब भी मत हो. पैनिक होगे तो प्रिपरेशन भी नहीं होगी. पर अगर इतना ही शौक है ना पैनिक होने का तो तब हो जाओ, एट द टाइम ऑफ प्रिपरेशन. लेकिन एग्जाम के टाइम पे पैनिक मत होना, बिकॉज getting the panic situation in the exam will make your brain feel dead. You will feel कुछ भी नहीं आता, जो आता था वो भी चला गया. So that's something you should never ever do. So I understand that because the time is running, you have limited time. So attempting the number of questions, getting them correct is something which always run at the back of your mind. हर time tension है कि जो किया है सही है ना. I totally understand that. But if you will get panic, so the questions you are attempting, they will also go wrong. And it will harm you only, na? So panic nahi hona. Don't get panic. Because ultimately your goal is to clear that exam. So focus on that goal and not on कि कितने कर लिए. So many times people say to students कि अरे you're not getting tension. Tomorrow is your exam. You're not getting worried. कैसे student हो? So you are a good student. That is why you're not getting tension. Na? You're not getting panic because of that. Why do you want to get this anxiety in your mind? Right? So why to get that? So it's totally okay. Even if you have exam tomorrow and you're not getting panic, it's totally okay. It's not a problem. It means you have trained your mind to do that. You should of course focus on the goal. The focus should be on the goal. But panic is something you should definitely avoid. Alright. So these are the 5 mantras which I have to come and tell you here for your exam preparation, which will help you. So these mantras are something which you can not only adopt while giving the paper, but these mantras are something which you can adopt even while your preparation. So preparation ke time pe bhi these are the rules which you should definitely follow. And of course, if you need any help from us, we are always available at 7880-107880. You can call at this number. You can drop a message at this number. You can visit the website at www.ecoholics.in and can check yourself out what are the things available for you. We have a lot of offers coming every time, so they might be beneficial for you. You can go through them. We definitely have classes for UGC NET also. They are running. A new batch has just started, so if you are the one who is attempting to clear them, definitely try joining them. It will benefit you. We give weekly tests to our students so that they don't make such mistakes in the real time exam. We have test series for UGC NET. So there are a lot of products for UGC NET which will help you in your preparation, and we will help you with your preparation, which will help you coming closer to your goal. So there are a lot of things. Okay, so I will take your queries now. So all those people who have queries, please send in your questions. I'm here for a few more minutes if you have queries. Okay, Advitya is asking, does economics net exam happen 2 times in June and December? So, yes, Advitya, it used to happen, if I tell you the truth, it used to happen in June and December. But since the COVID time, 2020, in 2020, of course, in June, the paper was not possible, so it get postponed. And now it's not actually happening in June or December, but it is getting little postponed. But yes, there are two cycles for UGC NET. So even if the June paper might happens in September or October, but still the frequency of that is twice. Now the last UGC NET paper which happened, the two cycles were clubbed at that time. The I think it was June 2022 and December 2021 cycles were clubbed into one another. So that happens. So, yes. Do we have any more queries? Anything you want to ask from today's session? Or anything you want to ask from the paper pattern, from the actual exam you want to ask? Anything about the courses we have? Anything. I'm open here for answering all of your queries. If not, then I will end this session if you don't have any other queries. I'm here for a minute. I hope I have answered everybody's queries. So, someone in between asked me about the books. So, books are something which, so I tell you the books for basic subjects. Like for microeconomics, you can go with H.L. Ahuja. Macro ke liye also you can go with H.L. Ahuja. Then for mathematical, you can go with A.C. Chiang. And then these are the main subjects. Stats ke liye you can go with S.P. Gupta. So that's how you will go with. So subject specific, of course, like at Ecoholics, we practice to use at least 2 to 3 books. Why do we do that? Because we over here feels that getting the stuff from one is not the correct thing. We should expand our knowledge by going through a multiple books. So of course we don't ask our students to go through all the 3 books. We are here for them. We study that, we collaborate the material, we get that material for them, and we tell them ki, okay, that's something which is coming for this topic, and then we'll tell them ki, okay, this is the 3 books. If you want to read, you can read, but there is one book which we definitely follow, and we ask our students also to read. Otherwise the lecture notes are sufficient for them. We do actually have a study material also which help you in case you don't want to read the books. So Rishabh is asking, can you tell when will we be getting started with econometrics and stats? I have read it before that. So Rishabh, you are a batch student, right? So that will also start soon in your batch. We of course go systematically, and since your batch has just started and we systematically everything's happened subject by subject, so soon you will be starting with them as well, other subjects. Advita is asking, negative marking is there? No, Advita, the negative marking is not there, so you're free to mark your choices. Hmm. Okay, Rishabh, you need to read it before that as you're weak in that area. It's okay, Rishabh. So, whenever the econometrics and statistics classes will start, they will start from scratch, from very basics, like something you do in your graduation. That's where they start. So, our faculties will definitely help you to understand those weak areas, and we will work on your weak areas together. So, not a problem. Any other questions to anyone in the audience? You can also see a number in the comment section where you can get the free mentorship for UGC NET. So the number is 722 394 6092, where you can get the mentorship also for UGC NET Economics. And there are free lectures also actually available on our app, so you can download the Ecoholics app, and there are a lot of free lectures over there which you can take benefit of. Okay. So Advitya is asking books for paper one. So for paper one, Advitya, as I'm telling you, that our faculties definitely refer a lot of books, multiple books. For every module, we have a different reference book actually. We don't blindly follow just one book. We try to include the variety in that. Because many times what happens is कि एक module is good in one and the another is good in another. So that's the thing over here, for following the books for paper one. Otherwise, there are a lot of books available for paper one as well. Any special, Anil Kumar is asking, any special class in econometrics? So, special by special, if you're really interested in learning econometrics, we have courses for learning econometrics only. Like, we do have courses for learning only econometrics. So, you can call on this number or download the app to get to just know about all of that, to know about the course, its fee structure, or you can visit our website also. So you will definitely get classes for econometrics also, for special classes. We definitely have special things for econometrics. Thank you so much, Rishabh. Madan for paper one. So yes, Madan is a good book. Even if I say many of the modules are good in Madan paper one ke liye, so it's a good book, no issues at all. And I think you are a student only, so you will get to know about the other books also with your faculties. And we also help you to clarify your doubts all the in 24 hours. So if you're facing any doubts in any question or anything, you can always send us your doubts. Okay. Do we have any other queries or it's all good? I think everyone's queries are being taken. All right. Oh, so that's something which is not allowed to share here. Okay, we have one good query. Yashmina is asking how to prepare for GATE 2023. Since the GATE exam is near the corner only, so if you're an aspirant for GATE 2023, I would like to tell you one thing: focus on your concepts. GATE का पेपर क्लियर हो जाएगा, कोई बहुत मुश्किल नहीं है, बट कॉन्सेप्ट क्लैरिटी इज समथिंग वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. कॉन्सेप्ट क्लैरिटी एंड प्रैक्टिसिंग द टेस्ट, टू थिंग्स. क्योंकि गेट के एग्जाम में डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस कम, एप्लीकेशन बेस्ड क्वेश्चन कम, एंड देन न्यूमेरिकल कम. So that is why concept clarity is very important, and their practice is also very important. Mhm. Yes, for paper one, there is one book by Harpreet Kaur. So, yes, that's definitely a good book. It's a book which you will find a lot of people using also. So, it's a good book. There are a lot of books actually available for paper one. So, it's not a problem, and it depends on your analytical thinking also. How do you prepare for it? How to prepare for RBI grade B exam DPR. So Akhil, for that we have other sessions also, but I tell you in brief how to prepare. You have to study hard for RBI grade B DPR exam. There are a variety of subjects which are asked in phase 1 and phase 2 including. So you have to study hard for that. You have to go from this basic level to the advanced level while clearing your concept. So each and everything remains very important, because phase 1 is clearing still easy, but phase 2 clearance is where you have to put your hard work into. So that's how it happens. Rishabh, gate is for mostly gate is for getting the entrance into the PhD for economics, and at many places it's even used for the PG thing, like getting admission into PG. But the information is not open on even on their website, so you have to strive to get to know okay, which place is accepting the gate score for getting you an admission into the PG programs. All right. I think all of your queries have been answered well, and this session must have been useful for you, and you have got a lot of informational things from here. So, I will see you guys soon in another session, and the numbers are on your screen. If you need our help at any point of the time, we are always here for you, for your doubts, for your queries, for any mentorship sessions. Yes, Rishabh, for IITs. So we are always here for you. Feel free to contact us, and I will see you in another session. All right, bye everyone. Good night. Okay. So we just to tackle one more query I just got. Gate economics pass, then we get the job in PSU sector. So yes, in PSU sectors there are a lot of openings which open, and they give you कि, okay, this is the gate score which we are accepting. So if you are eligible, you can apply, but you have to keep an eye on them on yourself. No one is going to shortlist you themselves. You just have to keep an eye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. All right.